Coming up on SCVTV's Community Corner, hear how you can help give the gift of life with the American Red Cross.
It's time to hit the gridiron for a good cause at Trenton Irwin's 5th annual football camp.
Bust a move or chase some G-forces. Kids can do both at the SCV Sheriff Station's 41st annual All Schools Dance.
Dearest gentle viewers, you're cordially invited to the annual Gala SCV, an evening of elegance where you can make an impact.
Discover how loyal Friesians Horse Rescue is advocating for the humane treatment of horses and find out how you can help.
And on a brand new episode of This Week in Santa Clarita, hear all about this year's exciting One Story, One City book selection.
Stay tuned. SCV TV's Community Corner starts now. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley, to SCV TV's Community Corner. I'm Carrie Lujan.
And I'm Dave Caldwell. The show is all about you, Santa Clarita, the nonprofits, the schools, the great city that we live in. We always appreciate it when you share some of your time with us so we can share a little bit about what's going on. And we have another great show in front of us today.
That's right, Dave. It's going to be amazing. And the Olympics just wrapped up. And as we know, you're a winter athlete, gold medal winning in all of our minds.
Not true, but go on.
In my mind.
In your mind. Oh, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
But there's also some local athletes who had quite the showing.
Well, one, Azaria Hill, and that was really cool. I mean, in the two-man bobsled, she and her partner, Kaysha Love, they finished 5th in the Olympics, the second best American team, by the way, because we did get bronze in the two-man bobsled. But it was great to see that Azaria Hill was able to represent Santa Clarita, Golden Valley graduate as well. Great family line. Her father, Virgil Hill, was a boxer. In the Olympics.
Very cool.
Her parents met in the 1984 Olympics. Virgil Hill was a silver medalist in boxing. Deneen Howard was a sprinter. So, and her brother, Azaria's brother, Virgil Hill Jr., baseball player out of Valencia, played in the minor leagues, was drafted by the Cardinals. So anyway, a big family that is just so athletic, and congratulations to Azaria Hill for bringing home a 5th place in the bobsled.
Congrats to her. And she really had no choice but to be an Olympian with a family line
kind of
like
family?
that.
Can you imagine? Now I'm going to ask you a question, because see, I wasn't here last week, and you had asked me 3 weeks ago about Olympic dreams and such. With the Winter Olympics, I wanted to ask you, but I didn't get a chance.
Okay.
If you were to be competing in the Winter Olympics, what would you have wanted to be able to compete in? Would you have been a bobsledder like Azaria Hill?
I was watching the bobsledding, especially the team ones, and when the people in back all just kind of duck down and go for a ride, I think I would get sick to my stomach.
Okay.
I don't think I could do that. But what did look fun and powerful and strong is the speed skating.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I could do that.
Could you?
I might.
I know there's a speed skating. Is there still a club over at the Cube?
I don't know about that, but if there's not, I'm going to start one. So if you want to speed skate with me, let's go.
All right, so what you did do something really fun. Bridgetown Home had their Soup for the Soul. You got to go. Tell me about the event.
Well, I always love when we have people on the show. They're so excited about their events, and then to go and see all the hard work pay off is really exciting. It was a beautiful event. The theme was off to the races, so people were wearing their fascinators and their big, beautiful hats. The men were all dapper with their bow ties and everything. It was a beautiful night, and it raised a lot of money for Bridgetown Home, which is such an important cause. And again, we talked about it a lot. The dessert auction is my husband's favorite. Unfortunately, he got outbid.
Oh.
He had a limit to how much he wanted to spend on a chocolate cake, which there were words afterwards. I'll just say that, because chocolate cake is priceless in my mind.
Who imposed the limit?
I think he did.
Really?
But he felt that paying $1,000 for one chocolate cake was a little excessive. But it all goes to a good cause, and we're so thankful to all the people who got out there and bid and realized that it's not just about how much you pay for a cake, it's about how much you get back.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're brilliant.
He didn't buy it.
He didn't buy it? Oh, that's so good. Well, stay tuned. We're going to have a great show in front of us, so stay with us. Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. The American Red Cross recently announced a severe drop in the nation's blood supply.
The impact of such a shortage is having major implications on hospitals, transfusion centers, and patients.
So joining us now to tell us how you can help is Jason Buckley, the Executive Director for the American Red Cross North Valleys Chapter. Jason, thank you so much for being with us today.
Dave, Carrie, thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
So what's going on? Why is there this blood shortage?
Well, in recent weeks, we have seen that our distributions of blood to hospitals have far exceeded our available supply, drawing down the blood supply by about 35%. Typically this time of year, we do see a drop in blood donations. It's winter time. There's winter weather that impacts blood drives and the ability for folks to come out and donate blood. And then also there's the flu season that makes people not feel well, and of course that's one of the eligibility requirements. You have to feel well to donate blood. But this year, we've seen the severe winter weather that has swept across the country, really impacting blood drives, affecting about 800 blood drives, causing the cancellations of those blood drives, to where we've seen about 20,000 units of blood and platelets left uncollected.
Oh no. Wow. So what blood type is needed most?
Well, to start off, we accept all blood types, and so if you're not the type of blood that is needed most, please come out and donate anyway, because we're always going to need any blood type. But the most common, or the blood types that are really the most needed are the O types, O positive and O negative. Those are the universal blood types, O negative being the universal blood type, so anyone that needs blood can receive O negative blood.
So you mentioned a little bit ago that one of the requirements is you have to feel well.
Correct.
Curious about restrictions. I mean, are there people that flat out can't donate blood, even if they wanted to?
There are certain eligibility requirements that can affect anyone. What I would recommend is really going on our website and taking a look at those eligibility requirements, or calling 800 Red Cross and talk to an eligibility specialist. But there are certain things that would disqualify people.
So like Dave with the tattoo that you just got, I believe you're ineligible. Is that correct?
No, well, it depends. It depends.
Depends on what the tattoo is, if you like it or not?
No, it depends on where you received the tattoo. Not on your body, but where it was done. Was it done in a state-regulated tattoo parlor? Then you can donate blood immediately afterwards. There's no disqualification period for donating blood for that. However, if you're a tattoo artist and you did the tattoo yourself at home, there's a 3-month waiting period before you're eligible to donate blood.
For the record, I don't have a tattoo.
That we know about. So remind everyone again about the impacts of having a low blood supply.
Well, basically what it causes doctors and hospitals to make tough decisions on who's going to get blood when it's available. It may cause the cancellation or rescheduling of elective surgeries. So though it's really important that people just go out and donate blood.
How many lives can be saved by 1 unit of blood?
1 unit of blood can potentially save up to 3 lives. But there are severe cases where people may need multiple units of blood.
Right.
So when I go in the last few times I've donated, I've done, I'm going to get the Power Red.
Power Red, yes.
And that you get more from that. Explain what that is. I should know because I do it, but.
Power Red is a procedure that we have where we're collecting just red blood cells. It's an apheresis procedure where the blood is separated, the blood components are separated right there at the blood drive, and we collect 2 units of red cells, and your platelets and plasma are returned back to you.
So that can help more people
Can help more people because the most common blood component that's needed in the hospitals are red cells. So you're giving two units of red cells at a time. And that's hospital-ready blood right there.
And there are people that are going to feel like, okay, I want to be able to do something. I want to be able to give some blood. Obviously, there's a shortage. Maybe there's a family member or something that they're going through something. But maybe they're skittish. Maybe they're a little fearful. What do you say to those folks to try to get them to say, come on down, let's go ahead and do this?
Well, donating blood's very easy. I'm a regular blood donor. The most common reason why people don't donate blood is because they're not asked, right? But then they may have a fear of needles. What I usually tell people, you don't really feel anything. When I donate blood, it's very painless. You might feel a small pinch where the needle is inserted, but that lasts for about a few seconds, and then it goes away for the rest of the blood donation. You don't even feel anything.
And you were saying before that Santa Clarita really turns out for blood drives. Why do you think that is?
I think the community, the people of Santa Clarita are very giving people, and we see some of our most successful blood drives in LA County here in Santa Clarita Valley. I can name a few if you'd like. Santa Clarita United Methodist Church, they run blood drives, I believe, about 6 times a month. They're very successful. And Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital hosts blood drives, I would say, several times a year, about 4 or 5 blood drives a year, collecting upwards of 100 units each blood drive for some of their blood drives. We're going to be having a Battle of the Badges blood drive at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station on March 24th from 10 to 4. Get a t-shirt when you donate there. So yeah, there's a lot of great donors here in Santa Clarita Valley.
There is a blood shortage around the country, so Santa Clarita, let's turn out. Jason Buckley with the American Red Cross, thank you very much for bringing this to all of our attention.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. He was a standout at Hart High School who has made just as much of an impact during his career as a wide receiver in the National Football League.
Now he's going to come back home to Hart High School for his highly anticipated 5th annual, I can't believe that, football camp. And through the magic of television and technology, we're excited to have Trenton Irwin here to join us. It is great to see you once again, Trenton. It's weird for me to call you Trenton, though, but I'm going to call you Trenton, okay? Thanks for being with us.
Hey, man, it's good to be here. I appreciate y'all taking the time and, sharing the info.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this camp before we get going in here. But before we do, it's just, I think of you and I have so many memories of when you were playing at Hart High School. What are some of the big memories that you have playing for what was then the Indians, now the Hawks?
Yeah. Wow, I forgot they were called the Hawks now. It was, I think it was a lot of just the brotherly connections. Winning CIF my junior year was definitely a moment that we all as a group remember there. But I actually had the privilege to play with a lot of my teammates from 7th grade up there. So to be able to just go on that journey with them and just being lifelong friends and just knowing that you got each other's back and everyone's there working for a like cause. I think there's something powerful in just coming together towards something and really just trying to put your best step forward to do your best to achieve that. And I think that's a lot of what sports is coming together as a little group to be able to express all the hard work and discipline that you developed on the field in one moment. And you do that through a little bit of a connection that is unique. And I think the best teams in the world have that connection that you can feel. So.
Well, you've spent 6 years with the Bengals. They've been some great years with the Bengals in the National Football League after 4 years at Stanford. But I'm really curious about when you talk about those times at Hart when you were playing football, what were some of the things that you took with you from those days here in Santa Clarita, growing up playing football, that you're able to use through your years at Stanford and then into the NFL?
Yeah, I think sports in general has blessed me with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. You make a mistake and it hurts. You make a big play to help the team and everyone's ecstatic and I feel like that's a lot of life. That's you can have some highs, some lows, and I think a lot of life is being able to manage those, being able to both. All right, I had a really good high, but I got to go back to work. Nothing changes. The work ethic is everything that's what got me there. And then you can have a low and dropping a ball or making a mistake, but it's also, that's not me. That's an action that happened. So we get to analyze that from an outside perspective and understand that that's not me. And I think that, I had a lot of those at Hart where, there were a lot of good things that happened, but, I vividly remember a lot of drops or a lot of mistakes that I'm shoot, that, that hurt. I've cried nights because of that stuff, but it's totally, it's all part of the game. And I think, through those lessons, I got to learn and just, figure out who it is I want to be and how I want to express myself.
And what I love about you is that you've kept your connection to Hart High School. You're coming back for your annual youth football camp. What can these young athletes expect this year?
Yeah, so we have the 8th, March 8th. We have 4th to 8th grade, boys and girls welcome. The last few years we've had around 200 to 250 kids out there. We bring out, I really hit up my whole group of people that have helped me along the way. Just, and that group of people for me is either mentors and coaches that I've had at the, younger level or older level, and then teammates as well. So I should have I've probably 5 Stanford alumni that I played with, probably 5, 10 other NFL guys that I played with, and, different people I met along the way. So, I mean, my main goal, it's a one-day camp. I don't think it's going to be like monumental in the sense that everyone's going to become super great football players through one day. Like, there's a lot of work. But my main goal is just to bring kids out there to have a good day, to be able to, learn life lessons through experiences out there like I have through football. And, I mean, I always tell the coaches, like, just bring your energy. Like, I think that energy that you can bring out there on the field, that little play, mess around, learn lesson energy, like, that's the main goal. Go out there, have a good day with some kids, have them have something that maybe that's, memorable through the years, and just be able to play and be a kid.
You mentioned about how it has grown exponentially over these first 4 years. You mentioned the age groups. You touched on that it's boys and girls. Girls are going to be included this year, and flag football
100%.
now. Flag football now, a big part of the Foothill League. It's second year now in flag football. Yeah. But why was it important to include the girls and the extended age group that you do?
I mean, the immediate thing is my little sister actually plays flag football. She's a freaking stud. She's she's a stud. She just started her freshman year, actually down in J. Sarah, because of just different recruiting things. We wanted to get a whole squad went through Hart, but it made more sense down there, which is tough. But, like, she's a stud. She's been out there. Last year she was out there, and, we bring a lot of the girls out there. I think they have fun out there just expressing themselves, and it's a new sport for a lot of girls. So there's a lot of things to learn, but I think there's so much great that's, about football that it's the ultimate team game in the sense that every little piece matters. So I think, you get to go out there, have some fun, just, running around. I think half the time the coaches have as much fun with the kids, but, the day is for the kids. So in the end, that's what the goal is.
So it's going to be fun, but it also is going to go for a good cause. It's benefiting the Eaton fire
100%.
Victims, correct? And why did you choose
100%.
to do that?
So I actually went to a school in Altadena area that burned down, but it's just going to the whole Eaton Canyon fire victims just because it was near and dear to my heart. And that's just something that, it's my school that I went to for 8 years of my life I just crumbled. So, like, it's sort of a cause that's just, true to me, and I'm, just thankful that I could bring a little bit of revenue to contribute to that. But in the end of the day, like, I'm not looking for any revenue to try to actually go too big. I'm just trying to think what I do get, let's put it towards somewhere, and hopefully just make it worthwhile for the kids.
And you've always been that way, Trenton. You've always been committed to giving back to your community. Why is that something that is so important to you?
I think part of it is, like, I can empathize a lot, especially with kids in sports. Like, I always did that in Cincinnati, and I've done that through my stages. It's something I can empathize with. It's something that, like, I'm super thankful for. And I've been to so many kids camps when I was young. My dad took me to all of them, like, literally every single one. And, like, I just remember seeing some of those guys and just looking up to them and just being thankful to be out there, and just they were spending their time with me, and just, I don't know, I'm a big believer in just the idea of hope. And I think that you see someone, at a level that maybe you as a kid aspire to be, it gives the kid hope that maybe, be able to reach that. And even if he, shoot for the stars and doesn't reach that, he might get a whole college education, be a resource to be able to, learn life lessons in the sense of work ethic and discipline and camaraderie. I think all that is just giving someone hope to go chase something. And I think that's part of the cause in general there.
And you talk about getting an education. You went to Stanford. What was that like for you?
That was humbling. My mama was my teacher growing up. So that was humbling. And it was between a couple schools, and it ended up coming down to Stanford and ASU, actually, ironically. But my boy Brady, as we talked about a little bit earlier, it was going to ASU, so that was a little bit of a heartbreak there, and that we split up. But Stanford was humbling. I took my first math class there. There was literally one I took, in high school, and the kids were just next level. I memorized stuff so that I could understand and pass it, and they had just understood the whole concept, so that the question was flipped all around. They just knew how to do it, and I was just, trying to plug it in. But it was, I ended up graduating. So I got a Stanford degree there. I got a name, Stanford with my name on it. So I'm very thankful there, but it was a humbling experience.
So you've got the football camp coming up, Trenton. Where can parents go if they want to get their kids to come be a part of this and have this experience with you and all those great players from your Stanford days and NFL days? Where can they go?
Yeah, so TrentonIrwin.org. It's also in my Instagram. I usually post it 2-3 times a week on Instagram to try to just get it out there. But TrentonIrwin.org is the website, www.trentonirwin.org. And that's the resource there. I also welcome, I want to mention this because I do 4th to 8th, but honestly, if the girls are 9th, 10th, 11th, we're all welcome in that sense. And then there's a couple kids who are, really good players who would be okay fitting in, who are 3rd, 2nd grade. We also welcome that too. So we're not strictly in the sense of oh, you're, 3rd grade or you're 9th grade. That's not allowed. We just want to bring, a good day. So that's more than welcome too.
So everyone come out and enjoy the experience.
Amen. And we're going to have after the camp, we'll have a little signing thing. So we'll have some posters to hand out to the kids. We'll have some knickknack, because I ended last year with the Jets. So the Jets sent in some little swag bag knickknacks. We have some Sharkies. Sharky's been representing the camp for the last 5 years. 5 years.
The Alvarez brothers. The Alvarez brothers, right?
You know what's up.
That's right.
Blessing me with that every freaking year. He's been money. So they're coming out supporting the camp there. We'll have Santa Clarita Wildcats, Santa Clarita Warriors, 2 teams that I've played for, Pop Warner Wives that'll be out there. But we'll have some snacks and drinks and all that good stuff, some options for vendors. But, in the end of the day, free shirts. End of the day, that's, the cause is to bring a good day to a community that I'm very thankful to be a part of there and just have fun playing the sport I love.
Well, awesome, Trenton. We're thankful to have you, and we're thankful that you're going to be coming back for this camp. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. For 41 years, the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station has been offering a fun, but more importantly, safe alternative where teens can enjoy a very cool night out with friends.
It's known as the All Schools Dance, and joining us today to tell us all about it is Deputy Justin Flanagan from the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
So given the name All Schools Dance, is the goal to bring every single high school student together, and when is this dance?
So the dance is going to be March 12th, and it's to bring all the high schools, and this year we're including the middle schools. So it's going to be all the high schools from Hart District, along with Castake Middle School, which is Castake Union School District. Magic Mountain was able to shut the park down. It's closed that day just for the students.
So what can kids expect this year with this? Is it different in some way than it's been in years past, or just...
So the difference thing is the cost. It's significantly cheaper. We want to get as many students as possible. The other thing is, again, now we got the middle schools to get to come. We got to do this in, I think, 2020. Middle schools were able to go, but we introduced the middle schools again. So now high schools and middle schools get to go do this for a very cheap price for, closed to just them.
So the whole park is closed. They get to go have this night with just local high school students.
Correct.
What is the goal? Why did this idea come about?
You know what? It's been going on with the Santa Clarita Station. I've been lucky to be with the station for 4 years now, and this has been an ongoing fundraiser of some sort, and it gathers funds for any charities that the station goes on and does.
It's fun. We were talking during the break because I was asking you if you grew up here, and you didn't, but
I did not.
There are other deputies who will be part of this, who are at the
Yes.
Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station,
Yes.
who actually participated in this back in the day whenever they were around.
Yeah.
Did they talk about how much fun it is and why they wanted to go?
Yeah, Yeah, so some of the deputies that I do work with, they did get to enjoy it, and they said that it was always a good time. They always got to go with their friends and hang out, and they get to stay out semi-late. This year it's not too late. It's from 5 to 9, and it's on a Thursday. So there's still time to go home, and they get to have enough sleep to go to school the next morning.
That's important. So you mentioned the cost is lower.
Yes.
How much is it, and where do people get tickets?
So it's going to be $20. It'll be cash out the door.
Okay.
So there's no hard confusion or anything like that. And inside the park, there'll be, I believe Johnny Rockets is open. So there'll be food and stuff like that, and that's electronic payment only.
Okay.
Good to know.
So obviously, with the Sheriff's Department going to be helping to put this on,
Yeah.
it should be safe. What should parents know about how safe it will be for their little ones to be able to go?
So I can tell you it'll probably be one of the safest places in Santa Clarita that day. There'll be every single team that we have at Santa Clarita, most of each team members will be assigned. I mean, obviously some of them will be working patrol as well, but we're all working the event to make sure that all the kids are safe, and we'll be watching over them at all times.
And your own kids are going to go.
Yes, I'm actually going to have my own kids go as well. So if I'm going to take my own kids, I sure would welcome everybody else's kids as well.
Is there a dress code for the all schools dance?
So there's no necessarily dress code, but we're encouraging no hats. No hats, no team logos, stuff like that, just to avoid any conflict between schools or different teams or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned it's going to be $20. It's
Yes.
going to be cash only, and it's only going to be taken at the door.
Correct.
Where can people go if they want to get more information about the dance?
So we actually, our Instagram, basically it's from 5 to 9, March 12th. It's for Heart and Castake students only. They have to have ID at the door. That's the one thing too. Mm-hmm. So we have to make sure that they are those students assigned to those districts.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the hardest question for you. What is your favorite ride at Magic Mountain?
You know what? I keep it old school. I like Colossus.
Okay, good answer. Good answer.
So it's the All Schools Dance, March 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Magic Mountain. Justin Flanagan, Deputy with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. Dearest loyal viewers, it is with utmost delight that we it went country for a minute.
Oh, it did, but it's good.
Okay, here we go. That we extend a heartfelt invitation to this year's exquisite Met Gala SCV, an evening of style, resilience, and royal impact.
And if you haven't figured it out by now,
No, you have to do it too. You have to do it too.
And if you have not dizzed by now, the fabulous theme for this year's unforgettable affair is Bridgerton, mixed with a little steampunk spark.
Honouring us today with their presence to impart just a smidgen of what to expect are Lady Eva Miranda Crawford and her father, Lord Bill Miranda. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I don't know if I can keep up with you.
The lady works great. I'm not sure about the Lord Bill Miranda part, but
That was make me want to have bangers and mash.
that's good. That's good.
We did our best, but this is going to be an amazing event, and I love a theme, but I have to say I need a little explanation for what steampunk spark is.
Oh my gosh. Well, Beth Love, our founder of Cancer Culture, decided that she wanted to do a steampunk theme, and I honestly had to Google it. Kind of reminds me of Amelia Earhart, like a turn of the century, like steam meaning like train engine, and bustier, corset. So it kind of goes with Bridgerton, but I think it has a little like funk in it.
Oh, I like that.
Like you could wear boots, you could wear a choker.
Like the goggle glasses things. I love this.
Yes.
Okay. I love
Yes.
this. Yes.
And then also you've got a partnership with Cancer Culture.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Exactly. So last year, I went to one of their events in New York, and it was amazing. And Beth and I have both had the disease. I've had it for 7.5 years, metastatic breast cancer. She's had it for over 10. And so we've known each other for years. But when I went to this event, she said, we really want to come to your event in Santa Clarita and be a presence. And they were such a presence that we decided to work with them this year as our nonprofit. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you are a metastatic breast cancer thriver. I love that.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about your personal story with us?
Yeah, definitely. I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer 7.5 years ago. It actually was all over my entire body, but then I went to UCLA Health with my Dr. Rena Callahan. They put me on some meds. I went into what seems like a remission, but when you're metastatic, you're never in a remission because it's a lifelong disease. But what I had was a clear PET scan, so that really means no evidence of active disease. We call it NEAD. And then in 2020, I had a brain metastases. We zapped that. I went back to the NEAD. And then this last year, I had a right lung metastases, and that's still kind of in bay right now. So I'm no longer NEAD, but hopefully I'm stable. I had a PET scan this morning, so we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
You are such an inspiration to us all about
Thank you.
this. Where do you draw your strength?
Oh my gosh. Well, he was hoping I would look at him. No, my family's been great. My kids, my husband, but also just my zest for life and for wanting to really raise my kids to the fullest extent possible. I always say my goal is to watch them all three graduate high school, and I now have one that's a 9th grader, so I'm getting really close. And yeah, they really drive me to just kind of go about life and act normally and fight the disease as much as possible. And when it pops up, it's kind of like a whack-a-mole, knock it back down and just keep going.
And you have the most amazing parents supporting you.
Yes.
So Bill, I want to ask you, for families and caregivers of cancer survivors, thrivers, warriors, what advice can you give to those who might be struggling right now?
Help is everywhere. Help is everywhere. Help is in talking to your spouse or significant other. Help is in talking to your parents, your siblings. Help is in talking to your best friends and your not so best friends. Help is everywhere. You just have to ask for it. And most importantly of all, help is everywhere.
Mm-hmm. You know, in years past, Bill, you've been directly involved with it as either a chairman or a vice chair of the event. Are you involved again this year with the event? Yeah.
I am.
In what capacity? Still the same?
Still the same capacity. Mostly, I'm, the organization's big cheerleader. Mm-hmm. I try to make connections wherever I can, try to help with fundraising wherever I can. But I have to tell you, she's the leader. She's the one that does the heavy lifting.
Mm.
Can we talk about something? And Bill and I had a long conversation last night because I am so excited about this. Your host for the evening.
Oh, yeah.
The MC. Share.
Yeah, Edita Slawinska. She was one of the first dancers on Dancing with the Stars, season 1. Her husband actually won the first season, Alec. And we were friends in Sherman Oaks when we were raising our babies together. And so we became really good friends, and then she moved to the Bay Area, I moved to Ventura, and I've always thought of her when I thought of this event, but this year I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna, what's the harm in asking? I'm just gonna ask her. It would be a great year for her to join us, and she said yes in 2 seconds.
And Bill, what do you think about that?
Well, I was thrilled.
Are you going to be dancing? That's my question now.
No, but if she asked me to dance, I certainly would. So I watched Dancing with the Stars vigilantly when it first came out.
Me too.
She was one of the most exotic dancers of all. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice someday to meet her? And then one day I got a phone call from Eva and said, we're doing something at a local high school in LA. We're doing something there, could you bring a booth? Could you buy a booth or something? And I said, I don't want to go to LA and have a booth. She said, well, that's a shame because my friend Edita Slawinska is going to be there. Edita. So I bought the booth.
Yes, you did.
It became a no-brainer.
It's the Met Gala SCV. When is it again? Where is it? How can people get tickets?
It's March 14th, Saturday at 5:30. It's at the Blomgren Ranch, and you can get tickets at metgalascv.com.
Perfect. And we're hoping for a good PET scan for
Thank you.
What are the NEAD?
Oh,
No evidence.
NEAD.
Yes,
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Lord Miranda, Lady Eva Crawford Miranda, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Dave, you take it out with your British accent.
Right. Well, it just takes it down into
That
a
was
bad...
Australian.
It was, wasn't it? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You gave up.
I did.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner, a fairly new nonprofit organization dedicated to the advocacy of humane treatment of horses. It's changing the way people support and protect equine animals in need.
Through rescue, education, and outreach, this organization is working to prevent equine abuse while creating meaningful opportunities for people of all ages to connect with and care for horses.
Here to share more about her mission is Lisa Farah, Executive Director of the nonprofit Loyal Friesians, a rescue horse sanctuary. Lisa, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So before we talk about how you got involved, let's start with the mission of Loyal Friesians Horse Rescue. Now that's really fun to say.
It is fun.
The mission,
Tell
yes.
us about the mission.
The mission. So we primarily focus on the humane treatment of horses for the equine community, specifically with or owner surrenders, wild mustangs, horses that normally would be euthanized. Our organization takes them in and saves them from being killed. And we recently moved into the horse slaughter industry, which we can talk about later, the SAFE Act, which is basically trying to protect wild mustangs and their freedoms and their rights to roam on our public lands.
So it was interesting because during the break you were telling us a little bit about Friesians and Loyal Friesians as well.
Yes.
Tell that story again about what the Friesian breed is and why they're so loyal.
Absolutely. So the Friesian breed originates from the province of Friesland in the northern Netherlands. And the breed actually dates back to 4th century and has documentation of carrying kings and queens into battle. Wow. So it is a royal bloodline. And I didn't know what a Friesian was until 2016, when a furry, four-legged beast pretty much changed the course of my life forever when he was the first horse that I rescued. And so Friesians are loyal because they pretty much only bond to one human in their lifetime. So in the horse industry, a lot of times horses will go through multiple owners. However, they pretty much are very emotionally only loyal to one owner, even if that owner is no longer with them.
So how did you start this nonprofit? What was your inspiration?
So my inspiration was an animal. It was this horse. And I was at a boarding facility leasing a horse for pleasure, and he was standing in a stall next to him and was getting ready to be euthanized if nobody was going to rescue him. So a gentleman who was taking care of him approached me and said, "Would you take over taking care of this horse? I've seen you ride and, you know, your training expertise. He needs help." And I kind of volunteered to start doing volunteer work to try and find a home for him. And then, of course, it became a love story. And we spent 7 years of the most amazing years together, galloping on cliffs like Wonder Woman, literally. I would go in at 6 in the morning and go ride this horse and then go back to my career in the city, and I would do it every day. And it led me to the path of wanting to pretty much change my life and save horses and shift my career change, because he was standing in a stall for the rest of his days. And I thought, no, we need land. And I was at a New Year's Eve party, and this girl came up to me and she said, "Do you realize that you pretty much levitate off the ground when you talk about horses? Why don't you sell your house and go buy a ranch?" And I was like, wow, I don't know how I would afford that. And she says, "Well, it's your limited thinking. You can do it." And so I was kind of got the fire under me, and for 2 years, I went and looked for land and sold everything and took the leap of faith. And Hunter was the mascot and the birth of the organization. And during COVID, he lived out his last year on a ranch, on a sanctuary.
Nice.
So my ranch is a private sanctuary for the horses that I bring in and rescue.
So since then, what kind of impact has the organization had?
Well, we had a huge impact for the youth for Boy Scouts of America. I was online looking for water totes for the fire season, which are extra like water containing containers. And this father was looking for CEUs, continuing education units, for his son in the Boy Scouts of America. And he called my organization and said, do you have any needs? Do you need help with anything? I said, do I need help with anything? I'll give you the list. And so he said, well, I want to bring my sons and some of the other members in his troop. And that's kind of how it started, with me working with kids and the youth. And so they came out to the ranch and worked for 12 hours. And then his son approached me and said, I want to get my Eagle Scout. Would you be willing to let me build you a hay barn? And I said, oh my gosh, I teared up because I had been, carrying bales of hay in the back of my Saab. Then that year I got a donation from a donor for a Ford F-150 truck. So I showed up at Fox Feed with my, look what I have now, and now I do deliveries. And so it kind of spawned from that. And then another Eagle Scout approached me, and we got a 500-gallon concrete tank, a water tank built. So I was able to have an impact with these children and helping children, let me rephrase that, these young men, for their having to do this beautiful project where they give back to the community. That's what the Eagle Scout project is they have to manage a group of people from start to finish and basically present the project to a board of directors that approve the project, and then that's how they get approved for their Eagle Scout project, and their badge ultimately is completing something like that. So it was so rewarding to be a part of a young man's journey for them to do something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So your goal is to expand into a community wellness sanctuary. Tell us what that means and what you need to do to make that happen.
Absolutely. So capital, obviously, is one of the first things to be able to purchase land that would be zoned A2. A2 is a heavier agricultural zoning that allows for the public to be able to be involved in the land a little easier than if you're more in a residential, agriculturally zoned space. So my ranch and my sanctuary right now was the first step. So I've been doing that for 7 years, and it's been growing. My organization's been growing, and we just received $25,000 in Mustang fencing to be able to create more safe fencing for the housing of the animals. So it was still kind of like in the building phases of the facility, because even though it was ranch land that I bought, it wasn't an equestrian facility. So I had to build all this stuff, which requires, the capital to do that. So ultimately, I want a wild Mustang sanctuary for the Antelope Valley where I can take people out on photography safaris, and they can sit among herds of wild Mustangs and really connect back to nature. And the day before, you could go to a Dodger game. And so it's something where you don't necessarily have to travel far or abroad to go experience the magic and the actual health benefits of being around horses, and also for the good cause of saving wild Mustangs and horses in general that are in need from being euthanized or slaughtered.
And I think it's important because it's all horses that you're trying to.
Absolutely.
It's not just the Friesians.
Exactly.
Even though that's the name of the organization, but it's all horses.
All horses in need. And the name, I'm in the process of changing it right now. It's kind of complicated to do all of that with the state and all of the legal filings. So right now it's that, but eventually it will be changed to the House of Hunter, because he was the founding member. Yeah. And so the House of Hunter will be for all breeds and all horses that are under his house of what originally was his sanctuary, where I rescued and pretty much sold my life to come and live in the country and, do what I do now. So I've dedicated my life to that because it's my passion, and also to share equine photography safaris where people can come and just bring their phones, and they get to leave with a memory of having, look at these wild Mustangs I was with, or, just these rescued horses, because we'll have different areas where these are certain horses and so forth. And so ultimately it's a wellness sanctuary where horses have a safe haven for the duration of their life. They're protected from being killed, and also for people in the community to come and have a place of sanctuary to connect with nature and horses.
Amazing. I'm sure people are inspired by hearing your story.
Oh.
If they want to donate, if they want to volunteer, where can they go for more information?
The best place is the website, loyalfriesians.org, and there is tabs on there where you can donate, and then there's also a tab for the Save Horses, which talks about the SAFE Act and some of the legislation that's currently that we're trying to pass to protect horses.
Lisa Farah with the Loyal Friesians.
Loyal Friesians, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Educating us on what you're doing and the need that's out there.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored to be a part of.
We'll come back.
Thank you.
Keep on coming back.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. The month of March is almost upon us, and you know what that means. It's time for the Santa Clarita Public Library's One Story, One City program.
The month-long event is meant to bring the community together and foster a love of reading. You can hear all about this year's book selection and explore all the fun activities in store on a brand new episode of This Week in Santa Clarita. Check it out.
March is coming up in Santa Clarita, and that means it's time for One Story, One City. This year, we're reading The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. We'll have something for everyone, from an elegant literary listening experience at the Main. Santa Clarita Symphony Orchestra Quartet is going to be performing some musical pieces from the book, to a lively Books and Brews night at Lucky Luke's Brewing. We'll have The Right Note, a drum circle. We'll also have acoustic therapy, all part of One Story, One City this March. To see the full schedule, visit city.sc/OSOC. We hope to see you at all of our events.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure to tune in next week and every week for another episode of SCVTV's Community Corner.
Check out all of our past episodes and segments at scvcommunitycorner.com or our Facebook at SCV Community Corner.
Thanks so much for watching.
We'll see you next time. At SCVTV, we believe in the power of television to inspire, educate, and unite our community. But we can't do it alone. Donate today, and together we can continue to create meaningful content and provide next-generation workforce opportunities.